we'll start with 1.0 approval of the minutes. You received the minutes in advance for September 15, 2022. Any questions or concerns? Not, motion to approve. Jim, thank you. Second, Barbara, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 2.0 finance and facilities, Barbara? You want to move? Anything you want to discuss about them?
It was her first meeting and it went very well.
I had a good coach on one side of me. I think other than that, we survived.
All right,
It was all in the minutes.
yeah, and you went through the preferred agenda item?
Yes.
Okay. All right, motion to approve? Thank you. Second, Anthony, all in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 3.0, the preferred agenda items. Is there any discussion? Motion? Move. Thank you. Second, Jim, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone object or abstain? All right, 4.0 action items. 4.1, recommend approval of resolution endorsing proposed SUNY Broome institutional learning outcomes in line with SUNY Gen Ed requirements and standards established by MSCHE. Any questions?
I'll move it.
Move it, Margaret. Second, Jim, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
4.2,
Sorry.
yes, excuse me. 4.3, recommend RFP number 2022-12, construction management services for building improvements and the Decker Health to LaChase Construction LLC. Thank you, Jim. Second, Anthony, all in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 4.4, recommend RFP number 2022-13, approval of architectural designs, services for building improvements, Decker Health to Labella Associates. Thank you, Barbara. Second, Jim. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed or abstain? All right,
Can we get a hallelujah on that? That's been a long time ago.
did you get all that, Diana?
I did, we just have to make sure when you say Jim, I know which.
I'm sorry, yes. The last one was Jim Testani, and the second was Jim Orbian,
And are you moving 4.2 to?
executive session. All right, we'll go on to 5.0, President's Report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome.
Thank you.
As Chair, thank you to our immediate past Chair, Anthony, for the last 2 years. It's a lot of work to be in the chair position for any board. We appreciate this. This is Kathy's first meeting as chair. So. Well, we're going to wait for Harvey.
We're gonna wait.
I do. Oh, it's here. Oh, okay.
All right. All right. We
I'll make a
will,
motion to go into executive session.
thank you. Second. Thank you, Margaret. All in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, we're going to go into executive session, so we'll ask everyone except the Board of Trustees and,
The VP's first.
yes, and the VPs.
Can you give me who made that motion?
Jim Orban and Margaret. Thank you, everyone.
Shouldn't be too long, and there will be one action item when we're done.
You got my message, right?
We're good. All right, we're back. Back in regular session now. We'll go back to action items 4.0 and in particular 4.2. Is there a motion?
I'll make.
Jim Orban, move. Tina, second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, thank you. We'll return now to the information items. Dr. Drum.
Thank you, trustees. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Trustee Testani, for attending our PHS reception awards ceremony last night. We really appreciate that. Meet our best and brightest. I want to thank Trustee Coffey and Trustee Testani again, and Trustee Fiala for attending NYCCT. They really appreciated it. Your fellow trustees, and I really appreciated that.
It was very interesting. It really was. And should we say that Marcus, the vice president?
And Margaret, they immediately asked Margaret to be an officer. She's on the executive committee.
Very nice.
They have to get to an event downtown
Yeah.
where a friend of theirs is being honored.
It's the only one to try this.
So yeah, last night, through the efforts of the foundation, we honored 19 of our best and brightest, our newest class of presidential honors student. Always just an extraordinary evening to meet the best and brightest our region to offer, and took us up on the offer to be a presidential honors scholar. ESD will be on campus October 20th in conjunction with the New Energy New York initiative. That's the battery project. They'll be here for a big chunk of the day visiting us. So I wanted you to be aware. Enrollment has continued to incrementally improve since we started the semester. Very unusual dynamic, I'm sure, in keeping with the whole COVID thing. Last number was 2.8, and we were at 4.8 when we started the semester. So kudos to our fast forward, our concurrent enrollment people for the great job they have done in our entire enrollment management team, admissions and marketing and financial aid and the advisors and everybody who helps with that funnel. It's hard work. Students don't just decide to come or not for the most part. It's daunting to get through the process, unfortunately, particularly if you need financial aid. Most of our students do. But it's not an accident that we're at the top of SUNY community colleges for enrollment. It's sad that we're at the top given where we are. Headline this morning in the Times Higher Education was community colleges in crisis. Not just because of it, but we're still at the top of the heap. And I can't thank our enrollment folks enough for the tremendous effort that they put in serving our students and helping them through that calling. I want to thank both negotiating teams for the faculty contract, ours and the faculty team for coming to a really good agreement. It was hard fought, but in the end, clearly good for both. And I want to thank both teams for negotiating good faith and coming to agreement. And I had the honor of attending the 20th anniversary of the National Association for Community College Entrepreneurship. It's now a huge national association that I helped start and was the first chairman of the board when it became a 501c3. But the really exciting part is the colleges that get recognized for doing really innovative stuff are doing things that we've been doing for a long time. And we forget how all that was accomplished even before I came and since I've come. It was really always nice to be at these national meetings and compare yourself to others who are either presenting or being recognized for accomplishments, and knowing that in most of the cases we're right there with them or long ahead of them. It was real fun to see what that association has become over 20 years. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Any questions, President Jones? Great, thank you. College Assembly.
Hi, I'm Erin Maruli, the chair of College Assembly. It's a pretty short report as we've only had about 3 meetings since the semester started. College Assembly did receive a presentation for the civic engagement coordinator efforts from last academic year, I believe. She had done that presentation here last year as well, and asked that College Assembly vote to endorse the support of that position after Dr. Jones' retirement. College Assembly did vote to endorse that, to keep that position at the college. We will be voting on October 17th to endorse a 3-body shared governance structure. So currently we're a 4-body structure with College Assembly, College of Operational Issues, Council for Academic Issues, and then Student Assembly. And with the shared governance structure, we've been going through the discussion is to plan for a 3-body assembly or 3-body structure, I'm sorry, with College Senate, a faculty or academic senate, and then student senate. So we're going to be looking for College Assembly's endorsement of that this upcoming Monday, and then be able to do more feedback from the campus once College Assembly gives that endorsement. And so the biggest focus this semester will really be continuing to meet and finalize the new structure, memberships and bylaws, and keep getting support from College Assembly and the campus as a whole. And that's basically my report.
Nice. Any questions for Erin? It was packed 3 meetings. A lot of agenda items.
There you go.
All right, student affairs.
Hi, good
Russ.
evening, everybody. The focus of our board report will be on health and safety as well as our latest COVID updates. But before our director, Nick Bry, speaks, I just want to share what we've been doing, kind of quickly to bring the campus back to life. Soon we'll have our student rights and responsibilities coordinator who starts next month. We're extremely happy about that. Our student athletes have been killing it this season. The sophomores for the soccer teams were recognized yesterday. Our cross-country team will be competing in championships this weekend. We expect first place finishes in Corning. We'll be hosting Region 3 volleyball on Sunday. All of our coaches are in place, getting ready for winter and spring sports. I'm really excited about that. So if you can check the website, I know the students will be happy if we have board members come. We'll be out at Ross Park for Halloween weekend. I'm really excited about Broome being more active at the zoo. For whatever reason, I love the zoo. We'll also be taking some students to Oneonta to hear Nicole Hannah-Jones. I think it's important for our students to be able to be exposed to distinguished lectures. So they'll be doing that next month. Counseling is far too busy. It'd be nice if we could put the counselors out of business because that means our students are all mentally well. But they've been incredibly busy and we've been very actively using the protocol third-party vendor and student activities. And Elle will share some of what they've done, but they've done everything from movie nights to Build-A-Bear to karaoke. So we're really, really working on bringing the campus back to life, which is very exciting. And so now I'll turn it over to Nick Bry to share how we're doing public safety wise.
Thank you, Dr. Carroll. Just a brief overview, public safety, we cover campus 24/7. That includes housing. We're also covering CEC for all class and lab times, including events, which are picking up. So we get stretched thin, but that's okay. We make it happen. We're there. Everywhere we need to be, we're there. We also have responsibility for the student village and Wales visitor desk. I'm very happy to report that this semester we have an excellent crop of student workers. It's really been good. It's a huge help to the department. I think it's also great for the students. So that's a really good thing going on right now. Last year, and reminder that we're coming out of COVID, of course, we still had 911 incident responses by department. So that's a big number. So one of the focuses that's incredibly important to me and that I'm always talking to my team about is community involvement. When I say community involvement, I mean officers and anybody in the department getting involved with our campus community, not law enforcement and not safety related. I think it's very important. We all see the news, we see what's going on. I think it's very important for the officer to be approachable. Sometimes that just means having a conversation with somebody. Sometimes that means just, you see somebody walk around like this, just giving them directions. It can be very small interactions. It's an ongoing focus of the department. It's going well. I could have written a very long list of examples, but I didn't want to do that because it would get boring. But just a couple of things off the top. Going into classrooms, we were actually invited to criminal justice classrooms just to do introductions. So sent different officers. Hi, I'm Nick. This is how I got here. Have any questions for me? Just really brief, 5-10 minutes, not overdone. Very successful. It was really good. Had some interactions with those students outside those classrooms. Officers bumped into them. They made a point of telling me. So that was excellent. We had a good move-in day, successful again. If anybody noticed, some of my officers actually helped unload cars, load bins, do little things like that. I didn't tell them to do it. I was extremely happy when I saw them doing it. Again, starting off on the right foot, a positive interaction when we didn't have to get called anything. We're still doing our intro to public safety for freshman experience class anytime we're asked. And then again, going back to last year, anything COVID related was a great opportunity just to be a part of that and help. Again, when we weren't called to be there, we were just there helping and having conversations. So the community involvement, it's incredibly important to me. I think it's it's going well, and just being approachable and being part of the success of everyone here, including faculty and staff, of course. Physical security update. I'm working closely with Dave and facilities. The goal, what we want to do is moving forward is make every classroom, lab, and office able to be locked from the inside. So if we have the unfortunate situation of, say, a mass shooting event, mass casualty event, if anybody's familiar with the run, hide, fight training, things like that, one of the options is to barricade yourself into a room. Obviously, that's a lot more successful if you can lock yourself in. It's not as easy as it sounds. It has to be code compliant with fire and code and all those types of things. We have a lot of old doors, different doors on campus, and we're dealing with national shortages because everything's out of shortage now coming out of COVID. So daycare was done, so that building's complete. The goal is to get Tichenor done next, but we're waiting on supply and things like that. But the code compliance, we're working closely with Dave. So it's going to happen. It's in motion. It'll be really great when it's done because it'll be a real good physical security improvement. And then last but not least, the gift that keeps giving is COVID. It's still here. So as everyone's aware, SUNY's still requiring the 2 shots. Things still do change. So keeping the website updated. I mean, public safety's still got their hand 100% on anything and everything COVID related. Review of exemption requests are a lot, medical and religious. And really the one that's probably the biggest one that kind of takes most time and really needs a lot of work to do it is students have to get their information into the SUNY portal proving that they have 2 shots. Sometimes the technology doesn't cooperate. Sometimes students struggle with the technology. A lot of them have to actually be manually reviewed because on the back end, the system is supposed to link up with New York State. It's far from perfect. I would say half of them have to be manually reviewed. So, and it's limited who can get in there and have access. It's actually currently only 2 people. I'm one of them because it is a medical record. So you can't just open it up and just have anybody do it. So it does take time, and then COVID, again, it's always giving you something new, some new twist. So it's obviously a lot better than it was. We're getting much more closer to normal, as the saying goes, but we're still doing a lot of work with that. But we're making it happen, and I think we're doing a good job. So we're being pretty successful, and things are good. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to take any questions from anybody if they have it.
Sounds good. I like it's interesting, the report on the door is so important. Definitely something that needs to stay at top of mind for us.
I 100% agree. I know Dave does too. So
Yeah. Yeah, it'd probably be good to get updates on that as we go forward. It's really important. Thank you. Good,
You're
great
welcome.
report.
Thank you. That
Thank
concludes
you.
our report. Thank you.
very much. Al,
Hi, currently we have a few new senators joining Student Assembly. As I was writing this, we had 3 open positions. Now we only have 1, which is great. That definitely does give us room and a lot more time to do a lot more things for students. For instance, as Dr. Carroll mentioned, we're hosting many activities on campus. Movie nights, Build-A-Bear, we had painting of, what are they called? Where you
Piggy banks?
Piggy banks, yes. So a lot more student engagement on campus, which we're very happy about. I included that we're going to bring back mechanical bow because I'm personally very excited for that.
I'm not coming to that.
Please.
Draw the line.
We passed resolutions to require equal representation on the convocation committee, which basically decides what kind of speakers are going to come to convocation day. Because we want equal representation between students as there are faculty and staff members that are on the convocation committee. We are currently also exploring the issue that is currently developing between SUNY and Creative Cloud. A lot of our classes depend on Creative Cloud communications classes, and the licensing is being non-renewed for now, starting July of next year. And we want to make sure that it is renewed because many classes depend on that. And a lot of students depend on that as well. So administrative affairs. There have been a few problems with printers around campus, but that problem is being addressed. Also, Laura Hodel kindly came to one of our meetings and discussed a little bit about the issue that I brought up last time I was here in terms of residency requirements and how students have to hand in a new residency form every single year. And we're looking to explore that and request a different funding model in collaboration with SUNY Student Assembly and see what we can do with those. We're also looking into the food machines that are placed around campus. There have been some issues, double charging, stuck food, bad options, low supply. And it basically turns out that the driver wasn't actually communicating with American Dining. The fact that all these issues were happening, that there was low supply especially. So we worked together with American Dining and the people in charge of supplying the food machines, and they basically went around campus and fixed those issues that they were having. Gave students more options on how to deal with problems. For instance, what numbers that they can call, how to fix, for example, double charging. And we're looking for that improvement to come around on campus. That concludes my report. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Any questions, Ralph? All right, thank you, Ralph. All right, BCC Foundation report, Kathy?
Hi, my report's in the packet. A few key highlights. This year, as of August 31st, our foundation's total investment portfolio, which is our endowment, is $38.2 million, of which $37.5 million is endowed. Total assets were $43.2 million, including the beneficial interest and perpetual trust. And this was compared to the fiscal year end, June 30, 2022, when total assets were at $43.4 million. The foundation has a net surplus year-to-date through August of approximately $760,000. This compares to a net surplus of $1.47 million year-to-date through August 2021. The majority of that has changed. The market volatility influences the foundation's finances significantly because of our investment portfolio. We are waiting to hear on 2 grants we've been invited to apply for through Lockheed Martin. One is for $30,000 that will support a STEM engineering excellence area, and it's a priority of Lockheed's, and I've worked with Dr. Marty Acholo to put together some fundable equipment purchases that they are prioritizing. So we're excited about that. And the second application is for $25,000 to support the Office of Veterans and Military Affairs on campus and help our student veterans and their families with upgraded equipment and academic support tools. Our magazine is at the printer right now, so we're pretty excited about releasing that. It's a beautiful magazine. I'll just give you that little teaser, and got some very interesting stories this issue. 24 Hours of Giving will be held on Tuesday, November 29th. That is the largest fundraising activity that we take on, where for 24 hours we work to raise as much money as we can to support the students in campus. Just wanted to let you know, if you're free Sunday evening around 5:45, the foundation and alumni office are partnering with the Office of Veterans and Military Affairs to sponsor the Twin Tier Honor Flight trip, which is our local veterans who make a trip to Washington, D.C. to see the monuments. And we're going to have a welcome home parade here on campus. And they get escorted back from the state line from law enforcement. So if you're available at 5:45 on Sunday, we're going to be welcoming those veterans back to campus. And it's really important because a lot of those veterans are Vietnam veterans, and they didn't get a welcome when they came back the first time. So we're hoping that campus will turn out in force. And just a reminder, you all will have gotten, or we sent out a campus-wide invitation to dedicate the Batiste reflection area where that was given, donations were given in honor of Dr. Francis Batiste's retirement. And it's going to be at the pergola, and it's next Thursday, October 20th at 3 p.m. So join us if you can. Dr. Drum mentioned PHS. We had a record class of 19 students that we brought in as incoming freshmen. And that's the biggest class we've ever had. And we're pretty excited about that because we are able to attract these really amazing students, one of whom is in this room right now, and I'm going to call him out, Alejandro. It's just, I'm pretty proud about how we can draw from all the local school districts. We can't do that without critical community support, and we have many of our corporate sponsors who provide full tuition scholarship. So our students choose to come here instead of, then they could go anywhere. So we're pretty excited about that. We had a really nice time last night and appreciate all of them. And just to let you know that we received a $153,000 check last week from a community friend. And it was a bequest from her estate. So we are in the process of going through that with our board and developing how that will be promoted in test. So you're going to hear a little bit more about that in the coming week. And that's all I got. Questions?
Thank you. Nice way to end your report.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on. Dave, facilities update?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have my report. I'll hit the highlights. Work on the replacement of the library roof is nearing completion, although we are evaluating a potential change order for the masonry work up on the roof, and that'll be processed shortly. Also, the project where we replaced the Student Center West Gymnasium roof has been completed. And the business building roof, which was part of that contract, should be under construction next summer. As you approved earlier in this meeting, the construction manager and the architect have been approved for the Decker nursing renovation project, so we'll be working closely with Dr. Kelly and others. In fact, she was part of the team that selected the architect. So we're looking forward to get that moving as quickly as possible and get it to construction as quickly as possible as well. We hope to install new banners on all the light poles in parking lots and on the loop road prior to the November 5th open house. We're pushing hard on the vendor to get that done. As Kathy mentioned, the Battisti Pergola celebration is next week. And I want to show you a picture of it. So this is the Battisti Pergola. It's located between the Natural Science Center and the Calise Advanced Manufacturing Center. Our construction crew put that together. They did the landscape tiles and then constructed the pergola itself. But it turned out really, really well, and it gets used quite often by both faculty and students. We've also started construction on 2 of the campus pavilions. This one is located between the Student Services Building and the bus stop. I think we have another view of it. Yeah, and this was constructed by our construction team as well. The second one under construction is between Decker and the AT building, and that'll be used in conjunction with the Sabak disaster event that we have every year. So we've got one almost done. This one's probably about 75% done. We'll be starting the third, which is between Tichenor and the student village once we get these 2 completed. The 2021 campus-wide paving and sidewalk contract has been completed. Design continues on the renovation of the restrooms in Old Science and Student Services. We also have begun preliminary design work on exploring the possibility of putting a track and field facility on the campus. The construction documents and front-end specs have been provided for the library and business HVAC projects. We're reviewing those with the same documents for the Student Center HVAC and Photo Lab relocation projects to follow. And lastly, our on-site energy manager, Libin Bevu, we met at your last meeting, continues in his efforts to put together an energy plan for the college and identification of not only projects, but potential funding sources to help us reduce our energy costs in the upcoming. So with that, I would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Dave? Thank you very much. Thank you. Michael, budget and finance.
Thank you. So in your packet is 2 budget forecasts, one for the last fiscal year, which ended August 31st. The college has to submit an annual report to SUNY on last year's at the end of this month, and we'll include that report in your December board packet. No changes to it at this point. We're still working on a number of significant accruals as it relates to that. And the current year forecast, the document didn't change from the September meeting. Probably won't change for another couple months until probably the spring term, unless some significant change occurs over the next couple of months. And that the rest of the items are informational in your packet.
Thank you. Any questions for Michael? All right, give your report, Jesse.
Standard report this month, other than our open houses on November 5th.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other business to come before the board of trustees? So just two comments. Dr. Ross, thank you very much. And Aaron and Al, thank you. It's nice to hear the campus is coming alive. You can hear it in your report. So it's been a long 2.5 years. So glad to hear that. And I just personally want to thank Anthony as past chair. I think, Anthony set a very high bar for what being the chair means, not just in terms of leadership, but in terms of heart. There's no doubt that his love for this campus and the well-being of it is evident in all that he did as chair. So I want to say thank you to him. I think I speak on behalf of the board of trustees and President Drum, how grateful we are for your. And he's going to stay on speed dial during my term. So it's good. All right, no other businesses and motion to adjourn. Thank you, Anthony. Second. Thank you, Tina. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
The brother said he likes